Five, four, three, two, one. Hey everyone, how's it going? I am Greg. I am standing in again for Donnie. He is right in the thick of it with his busy season at work. So I am going to be taking over for tonight. We are going to be finishing the watchband that I started last week. Amie is going to be joining me any minute now. She is just getting signed in and everything. But couple of thank yous up top. I want to say thank you to Creator Mix. They provide the music that we jam out to on these wonderful intentional crafting days. Kevin MacLeod has our intro music as always. Got to give him credit for that. And I think on these days that's all the thank yous up top. So let's get into it. Let's get our music going. Hey, there she is. It's Amie. All right, fantastic. Glad you were able to get in the call and join us. All right. So we are going to be getting back into finishing the watchband, like I just said. Right there. So last week I was able to get the backer piece kind of cut out and dyed. This week we're going to start off with getting the band itself dyed. I'm going to do a little skiving on that first, though. So let's get a test fit. This isn't the part of the buckle that's going to go around at the end, but it will give me an idea of where I want to skive from. So I'm going to make a mark right there with my thumb. And I'm going to start thinning the leather out from here so that it doesn't get really thick at that buckle. I did have a chance to put a fresh blade on this guy the other day, and you can see that makes it so much easier. Fresh blade is always going to make your life a lot easier, no matter what you're cutting. Sharp knife is a safe knife. I was actually thinking about doing some knife sharpening on the show instead of leather work, but felt like that would have been a little on the boring side. It's very relaxing to do, but it is not most entertaining to watch. How's your day going, Amie? Did I lose you? Might have lost Amie. We are having technicals, but it wouldn't be TLG without a little technical up top, right? All right, you're back again. All right, sometimes the nice mic doesn't want to play. I had that problem last week. All right, so there you go. You can see that's a lot thinner on there now. Just do another quick little test fit. I'm also leaving enough room to put a D-ring in here as a strap stay. I don't have those in yet. They didn't show up, so I'm gonna have to I'll stitch this tonight probably, but I will it's really not hard to unstitch this part and redo that buckle. I'm pretty happy with how thinned out that's looking. Hey, what's up, Sunshine? How's it going, friend? Thank you for hopping in here with us tonight. Aiden, how's it going, friend? And yes, technology is always so much fun, isn't it? But it does help us connect with folks, so can't complain about it too much, right? That's a lie. I can complain about it a heck of a lot. All right, so now we've got that done. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dye this guy so that matches. And I'm gonna do this up top so that this can have a chance to dry, and hopefully we'll be able to get it all plugged in and finished tonight. If not, then c'est la vie. I will burnish it with it a little bit wet. If we remember last time, we learned that doing this step kind of quick helps reduce some of the streaking that you can get on here. Make sure you're getting all the creases and cracks on there. Get your leather dust in there too, for good measure, right? Oh yeah, that's coming out nice. Gonna get the back too, but one step at a time here. Yeah. Makes it to a nice, much darker, vintage looking brown. I can hear you now, but it's still a little faint. I am sorry you're having tech issues on your side. That's always frustrating to be the one who's dealing with. Normally it's me. But I guess between the two of us, it's going to be one of us, right? No, I'm actually kind of lucky. They were doing internet work on the property I live on today. And so I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to connect at all, because you guys know my internet is not reliable at the best of times, and when they're going to be doing work on it, extra so. Yeah. Yeah, it's still wild to me. Like, I'm not used to it very much yet, but I don't get a choice in my ISP. I just get what the building gets. I mean, it's one less thing I've got to think about, so I'm not complaining, but it's definitely the only place I've ever lived that does it like this. All right, it's not crafting if you don't get your fingers just messy as heck, right? Yes, yeah, I heard you got a little bloody recently, huh? That's good. Thankfully, you are trained up in Stop the Bleed, which is, if you don't have that training, tell them how valuable that training is. No, no. It is one of the most easily preventable traumatic deaths out there is bleeding. I've had the training a number of times from when I worked with chainsaws and stuff, and yeah, it is a very valuable set of skills that everybody should have, because you just never know. You could be doing dishes, you could be cooking, you could be, you know, driving down the road, and having that skill set is going to be just massively useful for you. So, yeah, stop the bleed is always a good course to take if you've got the opportunity. All right, cool. So we've got that nice and browned up now. So I'm going to set this aside so this part can dry. And I'm going to get another dauber. Mostly because I love saying that word. It's a good word. Actually, dauber second. I'm going to do the burnishing first. The burnishing gives you nice, tight, closed edges, and it will smooth out the suede-y side on the back. I don't actually know what burnishing compound is made from. You know what? I'm doing enough. I can dauber it. Yeah, it's definitely some sort of chemical. I just don't know if it's more of a wax base or something. I've seen folks use wax on leather for making the edges really shiny and nice. So I know that's something that can be done. I haven't taken the time to look at the actual chemical contents of my burnishing gel. That is what I'm trying to do with this stuff, so I'm doing it right. Take it. I do want to try and keep the burnishing gel off the face of this, the finish side, because it can kind of impact how the four-way seal is going to go on there, and I want it to look nice and tight. Interesting. That's what I'm using. Well, that's good, because I keep sticking my fingers in it. One day they will, but not today. Not from the Tocolone, or Toconole. I've never really known how to say it. Fantastic product, though. It's very easy to use, and I am very happy with the results I get from it. But yeah, this is a little burnishing tool that I've got here, and it's a cone with a couple of different radius grooves in it, so you can do different thicknesses of leather with it. And I've actually seen people put these on like drills, so you can get really fast. And I tried that at one point, and it worked okay for me, but I didn't have a good setup for it. So oh yeah, well, in like leather shops, you'll see it on a drill press type of machine. All right, now I'm going to use the flat edge of the cone and get that heat and friction going. So that's what we know works on it now. Well, thank you for looking that up. I do appreciate that. All right, cool. So now our edges are a lot smoother. They're kind of laid down a little bit flatter, and also the suede on the back of this has been laid down and bonded. And so that's going to make that much more comfortable when that's sitting against my wrist. And it's got a bit of a nice shine to it. That's the inside right there. That's the outside. You can see the outside's a little bit flatter, and the inside has a bit more sheen. So that's another thing that the gel will do, is give you a bit of sheen. My tool, you say? That's fair. That's I could see that. I could definitely see that. So, thank you. I appreciate you bringing that to the show. I'm trying, man, but sometimes when you got a tool like this. All right, so you can kind of see now. Let's look at the difference. How flat this is. This doesn't have any shine to the back of it. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That's pretty good looking right there. I think this guy's still pretty wet. So what I'm gonna do is get the four-way care out. All the compounds I'm using, except the Tocanole, are from Fibix, which is a pretty well-respected, well-known leathercraft brand. What I'm going to do now grab another dauber. And we are going to get this guy nice and conditioned. This is kind of an oil mixture that should help preserve and soften the leather. It's also going to lighten it a little bit because you can see it's taking off just a little bit of the vintage gel color, which I am okay with because I like the natural look as it ages in too. Really, I just like the way leather looks. So we're going to let that sit there for a minute and absorb in so that it gets nice and penetrated in there. I'll probably not do the back since I just sealed that with the Tocanole. But yeah, what are you working on craft-wise this week, Amy? And chat, what are you guys working on? All right. I'm fingers crossed for you. I know sometimes with craft projects, the longer they sit, the more daunting they get. I've definitely had a few that were just like, ugh, I know I need to. Oh yeah, that's nice and soft now too. That four-way care definitely softens it up, and it gives it a little bit more flatness. Got the super shiny back. And then a little bit more matte on the front here. Brain fart, which happens to me all the time. So I am going to, after I've got both pieces finished like this, I will put them together and then I'm going to put some rivets in here because if I don't, the sides will stick up a lot. Kind of like a winged bracelet. I was hoping that I could find some rivets that got these really nice ones that are screw apart, but they're way too thick for this project. They're like 4 layers, 5 layers of leather thick instead of 2. But I really like these for a project like this because I want to be able to take the watch on and off. But In this case, they are not the right size, and I'm not going to try and force it. If I had a grinder or a sander, I might try and shorten them a little bit, but I don't. So instead, I'm just going to put some hollow rivets on the spot right there, and I've got a spring bar tool, so I can get that off once it's all attached up. Yeah, these are the punch-through kind that I'm going to be using. I actually got a tool for these so I don't have to smash them, because every time I've done smash rivets, they've gotten misaligned. So I am going... I punch holes with the hammer. That's how I hit stuff. I will be hitting something, but then I've got this nifty little tool, and is a rivet setter. And it takes one of these little T-shaped rivets right here, and it's got a little cone on there, and so you just whoop, and it flattens for you. Doesn't work so well if there's no leather between it. Kind of went in on itself. But you live, you learn, right? I know you like the violence, so I will. I'll make sure you guys can hear my hammering. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to burnish the band itself. Still a little on the damp side, but I'm feeling adventurous. And this leather is definitely thirsty. You can tell, I can tell it's sucking up the whatever I put on it. Hopefully that's not shaking too much. I'm gonna do my best not to smash my head into the microphone a bunch tonight, but I'll be honest, y'all, I can't make any promises. I mean, then smash away, I guess. But look, you guys, you can drink without me banging my head. I don't have. It is inevitable. It will happen. I guess let's start taking bets on how long it takes me to get there. I'm gonna try to avoid that one tonight. From what I hear, it's not very pleasant. And I'm a fan of my fingers. I like having all of them. They're useful, you know. I've had... That's good. I mean, if you're gonna be down a number of digits, that's the best number you could be down. I have been lucky. I haven't ever hurt my hands too horribly. I did have the chainsaw incident with my thumb, but that wasn't too bad. Yes, I still have my thumb, so you know it wasn't that bad. I I can't remember if you were talking about this last time, but I miss when you could buy like watch bands and stuff to repair your own watches at Target and craft stores and stuff. Feels like everything now is just designed to fall apart super quickly, so you have to replace it, and then you go to the craft store and it doesn't feel like it's at all for like repairs or heirloom crafts. It feels like it's all just make shit to sell it fast. It doesn't have to last. And I'm a big fan of making shit to last. No. That's one of the reasons I like working with leather so much, is you do it right and it will last well beyond your life. Well, this should be my only mummy-inspired leather watch band. I'm a man of fashion, so I'll have other watches. I'm also a lazy boy sometimes, and I like a digital watch. Oh, yeah. I can definitely read an analog watch. This one's easy because the battery's been dead for a while, so the time never changes. I just memorize what time it is on there. Exactly. You know? Hey, that's all it takes. No, that's not the time right now. I'm glad that's not what happened. I have fallen and hit my head before, and yeah, time does get funny when you do that. So, my steps are, first you get the idea. Figure out what you want it to look like. Then you're going to get your veg tan leather, and you're going to cut. And you want to cut with a bit of a wider berth than the strap you actually need most of the time. If you're cutting a strap and using a strap cutter, you can cut it exactly the width you need. And that's what I did this time. But for this piece, I cut it a little wider than I wanted it to be when it was finished. And then you finish off that edge with a nice sharp knife. Then I went ahead and I punched holes and connected those holes to get the 3/4 inch slots. Then I beveled the edges top and bottom on both pieces. Then I hit them with the vintage gel. And then I hit them with the burnishing gel. And now I'm going to actually cut the hole for the band, or for the buckle. So for this, you need to figure out, so that's where I'm going to have that. This leather is nice and it's going to hold that form. So what I'm going to do is I am going to punch a hole through this right here and then connect that hole so this swing bar has room to move. Because if you just do it at a hole, your swing bar is not going to be able to move. I don't know if that's the actual name of that part, but that's what I'm calling it. That's something I'm definitely not the best about, is using proper terminology. But if it makes sense, it makes sense. So yeah, I'm going to step off camera real quick, and actually I'm going to make sure I got the right hole punch first. Well, I'm going to be using the same punch for a couple of different size holes tonight. So I did have all of the... I will be right back. I'm going to go hammer this off screen because last time I tried to hammer on the desk, it did not work very well. All right, I will hopefully disappoint you on that front, but I'll be right back. All right, no screams. You're welcome. Did that just for you. It did get a little off center, my hole did, but it's done and there's nothing to be done for it. So I'm going to cut out the bar between them, and the excess between the two ends of the hole. Should be fine. Now, when you're putting this on, make sure you've got it facing the proper direction so it's not going to be going inside, because that'd be a bummer. See how that can move? That's got plenty of room in there to swing. I'll show you guys the hole too. So you can see it's a little off center, but like I said, there's nothing you can do. So you just got to keep going with it. I've never actually used one of these double wing buckles before, so I'm kind of excited to see how it comes out. The next step here that I'm going to do, first I'm going to make sure it is facing the right direction. So I've got the thinnest side out on the top of the swing buckle, or swing bar. Next I'm going to make a mess. I'm going to grab my little hole punch, my stitching hole punch. And I like the way a double row of stitch looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm just eyeballing these. I'm going to put a double row of stitch holes in here. All right, what color should we stitch on this? What do you guys think? I've got a purple, bright red, which I know looks good, leather style. I've got a muted green. This is true. I think I'm going to go for the more classic red. I like the way the red thread I have pops with this brown leather. And I have the thread right here. So we're going to be doing a saddle stitch for this, because a saddle stitch is one of the strongest stitches you can do. I'm going to pull out. You normally want 4 or 5 times the length that you're going to be stitching to do a saddle stitch with. I'm going to pull out what will probably be more than that because this is such a short length. That would be a difficult length to work with. So this is one of my favorite color combos. Brown and red with a little brass. It's just got a... Exactly. It's got a very classic appeal to it. Ah, there we go. Needle was stuck in the trough. So I'm using just pretty bone standard needles. They're a little thick. What we'll do is put one on each end of the thread. Now you guys gotta watch me thread a needle live. I like to kind of pinch the ends flat so they, this is waxed thread, so they'll hold that shape a little bit, and that makes threading the needle a lot easier. So I'm gonna go through my first set of holes. And what I like to do, make sure they're even, is first make sure the needles stay on there. And you just kind of pull up like that. So with saddle stitch, you got to pick a side that is your kind of, I think of it as my A side or my start side. And you just kind of always start from that side. So this time it's going to be the finished side of the project. You pull that needle through. And then you push the other needle from the other side. One thing you got to be careful with is to avoid piercing your thread, which sometimes happens, and it's not the end of the world if it does. And you pull that nice and snug, and then with a saddle stitch, to really get it set, you'll go back over your first stitch. So again, going through from the finish side and taking the other needle and going through from the back. Sometimes these threads will tangle up. That's something you got to be careful for. Now I'm going to do a lap over the edge of the leather. So I'm still taking the finish side needle and doing that first. You go over. Make sure when you're doing this step that you don't get on the wrong side of the leather or the buckle, because it can happen, and it gets all tangled up and it's a pain. See, just like that. And my thread is going under there. If I try to do this now, be a mess. So that's one thing you got to be pretty careful about. That's what I forgot. Lighter. And I did it again. I got on the wrong side of that buckle. And we'll just keep doing this until we have both sides finished. And this is going to be an insanely strong stitch right here, but this is a good spot to have a strong stitch. So I'm okay with that. Also not a very difficult stitch to do. One thing you can do to help prevent piercing is pull the thread to the side like that and give you a clear shot through. The real benefit to that is it makes it easier to get the needle through. Again, we're going to go over the end there. Being careful not to wrap our buckle. And then do the same thing with the B side. You want to make sure you're keeping pretty good tension on this as you go through, because especially when you use a punch like I did to make the holes instead of a prick, it can be a little loose if you've just got one thread going through there. All right, cool. So that's one set of stitching done. And take one of my favorite little knives, my little donut knife. If you're at all in the EDC world, you've probably seen a lot of donut stuff, and I am here for it. So I like to cut this with a little less than 1/4 inch. And that will be what we use to melt back and secure that thread. So all right, let me cut this thread and undye this leather. Nothing exciting yet. I've punched some holes and did a little bit of stitching and dyeing. You just got here in time for the exciting part. I'm gonna go grab a lighter. I will be right back. I was tempted to go get my, what you call it? I have a torch lighter that I was tempted to go grab, but that's actually not what you want to use. You want the mellower heat of a, just a regular old thick. So what I like to do is keep the flame close to the thread, but you don't want to actually catch the thread on fire too much. You just want to melt the end of it with the heat from the lighter, and then I'll use the metal on the lighter itself to flatten and secure. That does two things. That will flatten and secure that, and then it also kind of melts it into the other. Greg's doing it on the internet. What's up, Dondo? Now I'll hit that from the other side. That's interesting, because yeah, fire is definitely the most contagiously bad thing I play with. All right, so you can see that's nice. Probably see it better on this. One set of stitching done right there. Like I said, I like the way a double stitch looks. I'm gonna go get the purple thread. It's worth it to me to have just a little bit of subtle difference in there. I think that'll look really sharp with purple and red. I've used that color combo on this leather color before. Yeah. Sorry I keep getting up, but you guys gonna watch me walk away. I figured out why I can't find my purple thread, Amie. Because I finished it, yeah. Hey, you know, that means I'm crafting more, so I'll take it. I thought I had everything lined up beforehand, but Got this little ADHD thing that makes actually doing detail shit hard. You can't hear Amie. Oh, all right. I see that. Thank you for letting us know.
How about now?
How about now?
Can you hear me now? That's a fun game we've been playing all day.
Right? I am seeing you in OBS now, so we should be get you. I know, I'm all clean shaven again. You'll see why shortly, Dondo.
I've just been talking to you
Yeah.
guys this whole time, and you didn't even hear me. That's fun. Just talking to myself.
No, you're talking to
Well,
me. I
that's
heard you.
good.
They only heard my half of the
Yeah.
conversation, though.
Greg's insane, everyone.
So
It's fine.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing we did again. So we've got a nice even amount of thread on both sides. And just for variety, I'm going to make the back side starting side on this one. Doesn't really matter which side you start from. As far as I'm aware, there's no difference in how it finishes. Dondo's asking. Oh, you're answering in chat. Gotcha.
I'm just a little messed up.
Just a little. That's okay. Now you've got a story. I love the timing on it. We were talking about scars on our actual play the other day, and now you've got some.
I got my first stitches, everyone. My very first stitches. So fun for me.
I haven't had stitches in years, but I have definitely had a couple of sets. I know I told the TLG team, but I don't think I told the rest of y'all about the day I had 2 different sets of stitches. I had some surgery on my mouth in the morning, get ready for braces, and I got about 7, 8 stitches from that, and then I was changing the gauze pads later in the day. Ran upstairs, got a little lightheaded, and ended up taking a tumble and hit my head on the bathtub hard enough to split it open and concuss myself. And I didn't even realize that I had fallen. I thought I was having a medical allergic reaction to the drugs. So I called my dad all freaked out. I'm like, Dad, I can't move my head. Everything hurts and I'm cold. So he got the dentist on the phone. The dentist is like, yeah, there's absolutely nothing that you could be having that reaction from. So we're sending EMS. And EMS shows up. They get into the the house. And the first firefighter through the door looks at me. He says, oh shit. Turns to the guy next to him and says, go get me a collar. And yeah, what had happened is I had passed out when I was changing the dressing, and I hit my head on the tub and split it wide open. So I got 7 stitches on my mouth in the morning and 8 stitches on the back of my head in the afternoon.
Classic you.
It was a banner day. I was an expensive kid. I spent a lot of time in medical facilities. I know I've told you guys I broke my femur. I remember talking about that on stream a couple of times.
If anyone wonders why, I spend the rest of the stream being like, don't mess up, Greg. Don't do this, Greg. Be careful, Greg.
I'm a little bit accident prone, and by a little, I mean I've been injured at every job I've ever had.
I've watched you fall both up and downstairs.
To be fair, those stairs sucked. And that's a professional opinion. I used to build stairs for a living, and those stairs were a fucking nightmare. Like, everybody who was there agrees those were shitty stairs.
There might have been a few missing. It's fine.
They were also just really awkwardly spaced, and there was no backing.
The best stairs are all different heights.
No, that's categorically entirely untrue. Gonna give me an aneurysm with that. All right, cool. I am happy with that. That looks good.
Oddly enough, Ray, I almost always fall going up rather than down. If I'm going to trip, it's going to be going up. Especially on buses. I've fallen getting onto many buses. I don't know why that's my thing.
Those bus stairs are always kind of steep.
And wet. They're always wet. Even on like a dry day.
Maybe you're taking the wrong buses.
Maybe.
All right, so now I've got a choice to make because I could either do these kind of aged brass gunmetal style through rivets, or I could do another stitching loop. I think I'm going to do the rivets. Now, one thing you got to be thinking about with a project like this is which way do you want your buckle? I like mine coming from the outside of the wrist. Now we're going to get it sized. That sits right in the middle of my wrist right there. And you can see what I'm talking about with the flappage. That's why I'm going to be riveting that down. What I'm going to do now, we've got that sized where I want it, is we're going to go punch that hole. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to make sure that the rivet or the punch I have is the right size for the rivet. And it is. That's a lucky break. So I will be right back. I'm going to go punch this hole real quick. And then we will put the watch itself on there. So I will be back in just a moment, y'all.
Bye again. All right, does he get hurt? Place your bet. Also, how's the music levels? Can anyone hear the background music? Tends to be a little quiet. Oh, excellent. 2 for 1. And you get to watch Greg crawl around on his floor. That's fun.
You can't hear the music you're saying? Let me bump it up a bit.
She said she can now that she can also hear me.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that's can or can't. I'm good at reading, y'all.
Thanks for not hitting yourself with a hammer.
You don't know that. I was off camera.
No, we can see you crawling on the floor, bro.
Oh. So you can.
Yep. Sure can.
All right. Well, you're welcome,
Yep.
then. see me in my PJs. All right, so I'm gonna make sure to put the finished side of this rivet through the front. Barely long enough. I always have a hard time getting rivets that are the right length. There we go. All right. Now we've got a nice finished rivet on there. Looks good on the front. Now, like I said, we want to make sure we're intentional with the direction we're facing everything. So I've got the watch so that I can read it with the buckle going to the outside. Reason I'm doing this with the watch on there is that watch is going to take up some of that slack in the band. So you want to make sure that's the size you're actually getting. All right, cool. I'm going to go punch another hole. And then we'll put in our sizing holes, and this guy will be finished. So give me just a moment.
To the floor.
Exactly. Enjoy the show, y'all.
Okay, great. How's everyone doing? How was work? How's life? How are pets? All the things.
All right, second hole has been punched.
Good job.
Thank you. I thought so too. You guys enjoy watching me roll around on the floor?
It looks like you're gonna hit yourself in the head every time you pull the hammer back.
Haven't done that one yet. All right, so we've got these rivets again, and we're going to go through with the finished side on the front. There we go. Let's take a look now.
It is looking really cool.
Thank you. I'm really happy with how this one is coming together. Going to put a little extra bend in this just because the leather is a little stiff still. So I'm going to get it a little more flexy so I can get really nice and accurate sizing holes.
Random fact, I like my watch faces to be on the inside of my wrist.
I cannot stand that. I have tried that. I've known a lot of people who like that, and it does not do it for me.
I don't think I've ever seen another human being do that. I was sure it was just me.
I know a lot of military guys will do it. I've known Air Force guys who do it. Apparently, it's to reduce glare or something. I knew somebody who did it because he liked to be able to see how long he was taking between shots when he was shooting his rifle. Alright, so this isn't the final hole, but I am going to use this for marking my first hole and then getting the spacing out. So I like to do about a 1/2 inch. I'll be using this, the punch, the same punch I've been using, to expand these holes. But what I like to do is about a 1/2 inch for each hole. I just got this nice T-square the other day. This is an L square. I'll line that first hole up on a 1/2 inch mark. And I'm going to have to give you guys one more show on the floor to punch these in.
Next time you should wear a tutu or something. Make it really interesting.
Yeah. I can...
You're gonna crawl
see what I can
around
do.
on the floor. Come on, man.
Alright, cool. So now I've got my holes marked on here. I'm going to go punch those in, and then this will be a finished watch. So, enjoy the show, y'all.
The puppies are good, Ray. Little one is wild as ever and stole a bunch of laundry, but they're good. How about yours?
Alright. So, we can see those holes are punched through there now. Fit check.
We were discussing pets. It's very important. How are Teddy and Lily?
Teddy and Lily are doing fantastic. I went to Five Below today and ended up getting them a pet tube. A little, like, crinkly fabric tube they can run through. And they have been enjoying that.
It's annoying how much I like that store. I think it's literally meant for, like, 6th graders. That is their target audience, is like 11-year-old kids, and I'm like, no, I love it.
All right, I like it. That looks good. I think I'm gonna go put one more hole in there, just so I have a little bit of room to make it a bit tighter.
Do you have the little circle band thing to hold the excess strap down?
That is what this double buckle does, actually. Yeah, I just started using these, and I'm liking them. They are a little bulkier, but I am a bulky dude, so...
There you go.
I've got the mass to pull it off. Alright, cool. I will go punch that hole, and then I think we are going to be done with this watch. Only thing I have to do from here is get the battery replaced. So I will be right back yet again. All right, cool. Let's try it on. I did end up getting it a little backwards. That's okay, because I gotta take the thing off. Get the battery replaced. There we go. Yeah, see, so that leather strap goes right to the other side of that double buckle.
It is sharp.
Thank you. I am, especially once it breaks in, I think that's going to be really nice. I'm very happy with how that came out. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm going to call it. Even on watch I just made for myself, I'm right between sizes.
That makes sense.
That's okay. I just got to get beefier, right? Get muscular wrists and it'll be fine. Yeah, I really like that. I think that came out pretty darn nice, especially for my first time using this kind of buckle. It is a little bit taller on the bottom of the wrist than I expected. But that's okay. That's okay. It's definitely an intentionally bulky looking watch. So I think that's fine.
Ray says it
I'm
looks
happy with
good,
that,
and if
though.
Ray says it looks good, it's got to be really good.
I will take that. If Ray likes it, then that's a win for me. She's got good taste. All right. Well, thank you all. I think that's, I know normally we go about an hour and a half with this show, but I feel like finishing this at 1 hour was a pretty good. I totally just lost all train of thought right there.
Greg do good. Greg make watch.
Greg do good. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it there because I've got a finished watch on my wrist. All I got to do now is
Ultimate compliment.
Thank you, Ray. That is
Ultimate.
That is yes. That is. You just made my fucking day. That is exactly what it was inspired by. So that is a massive, massive compliment. And yeah, you just made my day, Ray. Yeah, I think especially once it breaks in a little bit, this thing is going to be perfect. Ah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Very cool.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with us. Thank you for tolerating me getting up and giving you a show every 5 minutes. Dealing with our tech issues as always, and of course me losing and misplacing tools and thread and all of that fun stuff. But we will be back on Sunday with rave reviews, and that will be Sundays and Wednesdays at 7:30 Mountain, 9:30 Eastern, or 7 Mountain, 9 Eastern. I don't know why Donnie and I always do that when we're dropping times. This show's every Thursday, and then we've got actual play on Mondays at 5:30. So make sure you check that out. Come hang out with us. Hit the like, the subscribe, all that stuff. It really does help us out so much. And yeah, catch you guys on the flip side.